I'm Betsy Kramer, Program Manager for Community Revitalization at SEDA Council of Governments, or SEDA-COG, located in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. And we serve 11 counties in the central region of Pennsylvania. So I grew up, born and raised in Elysburg, right down the road, and I went to school at Southern Columbia, went to college for music, and I thought that was going to be my career choice, but I ended up stumbling into working in sales, actually. And then back in 2001, my husband and I had a house fire while we were at Disney World. So we had been there for about 2 days, and we had only been in our newly built home for about 1 year. And we had driven to Disney World for that trip. And I came back, and at that time I was a stay-at-home mom. My daughter Juliet was 3, and I had to recreate my life. I had to figure out, how long do you keep papers? How many pair of jeans do you need? Where do you keep things? How long do you keep things? And I just became very aware of what's really important. And where are our priorities? And through this, I sort of had an epiphany. And I thought, boy, this would be nice if people could learn this information without having to lose everything at first. So I reached out to the Bucknell Small Business Development Center, or the SBDC, and they offer free consultations for business owners, or actually I shouldn't even say business owners, people like me who just had an idea. I thought, boy, this would be great if I could help other people organize their life. I actually ended up to be one of their success stories, and for 12 years I had my own business, Cash and Clutter, where I help businesses and homeowners organize their lives. That was for 12 years. And my husband, who was working at SEDA-COG at the time, said, would you ever consider going to work at SEDA-COG? We could use some assistance in economic development. So March 13th of 2017, I started at SEDA-COG working in economic development. And 2 years later, we were working with a grant called Engage, where we would go into businesses, talk to the business owners or the decision makers, and see, how can the Commonwealth help you? Where are your pain areas? What keeps you up at night? And we noticed a tremendous need in the city of Shamokin. So our very first stop in our tour of how do we help Shamokin ended up at State Representative Kurt Mosser's office. And he loved the idea so much, he said, I'll fund it all. So that was back in 2019. July 1 of 2019 was when I started in the city of Shamokin. It was supposed to be 3 years, $300,000, and doing a strategic plan for the city. So we hired a consultant, Stromberg, Garrigan and Associates, to put together the Go Shamokin plan. I wasn't looking for projects. Instead, I got a strategic plan. So that was my step-by-step instructions, my checklist, if you will, of what projects need to be funded. And then I had to figure out actually how to write grants to get them funded. We're working on Independence Street makeover. There's also a rail trail that I would love to see get funded throughout the city. So that starts in Sunbury, goes through the city of Shamokin, and then to Mount Carmel Township. And we have larger plans to potentially connect that to Weiser State Forest. When a city is in Act 47, that elevates the need for funding. The issue is the communities that need the help the most don't even realize that there's opportunities out there for them to apply. When you get the grants, they don't have the capacity to actually implement the grant. So there's a huge issue that we have with the cities that need the most help, and communities. It doesn't have to be a city, as the communities that need the help the most. This community is going to be burdened with these grants. They're not going to be able to implement them. And a lot of the grants that we got, there's no administrative fee in there. So that means I'm not actually paid to implement the grant. So first I approached Appalachian Regional Commission, which is a federal funding source. And I said, this is outside of the box. This is, crazy thinking, but could we potentially get funding to have a downtown manager placed in the city of Shamokin? And then that also would tie me to oversee the position for 3 more years. So they said, yes, they love the idea, but it was only, they could provide me half. So they could give me $200,000. I had to come up with another $200,000. So I reached out to DCED's Act 47 program and I said, could you help match this? And the way I sold it to them is, with this, I also serve as a liaison between DCED and the city to make sure that the exit plan initiatives are followed through. I would not be here if the AOAA didn't come about. The AOAA came into Shamokin at its bottom. AOAA sits at Cole Township, so that's very important. Cole Township surrounds the city of Shamokin, and when that came in, all of a sudden people wanted to kind of jump on that bandwagon. You take something like an AOAA that brings in 40,000 people from not just Pennsylvania, not just the United States, but international, coming to the city of Shamokin. And so obviously we had hospitality services wanting to capitalize on this, quite frankly. I was planning a trip to New York City with my friends. We were going to go see some shows and spend a nice weekend, and we were supposed to go there March 13th of 2020. And people were talking about, everything getting shut down. I thought, oh, there's no way that's going to happen. And I actually said that to some business owners in Shamokin. Oh, that's not going to happen. Don't worry about that. Well, it did happen. And I remember March 13th, when I should have been in New York, everything was shut down. So at that time, there was a lot of momentum in the city, a lot of momentum. We had FAR, which was Faith Alliance for Revitalization, very, very well-attended meetings with not just community members, and also that was for the faith-based community. So we had a lot of faith leaders, but we also had a lot of other support, like SEDA-COG and SBDC there, and a lot from city council was involved, and the mayor was there. State reps and senators came to these meetings, very well attended. And then also that's when SABRE was born, and that was Shamokin Area Businesses for Economic Revitalization. Really, the person behind that was Kathy Vitovich. She was just a force to be reckoned with. She was revitalizing the city of Shamokin one ugly building at a time. So she purchased many buildings, and she wasn't necessarily looking to continue owning those buildings. She just wanted to make them beautiful. And then she would turn them over to somebody else then to continue running. And she did amazing work here. She became very involved with the RDA. She became very involved with bringing back the IDA, which is the Industrial Development Authority. And that's something Mayor Brown worked on. He brought back the IDA, which had been aged out. And so rather than having it as an IDA, it was decided to make it an Economic Development Authority, or an EDA. So it's an IDA doing business as an EDA. In the city of Shamokin, we are not going to be bringing back mining, and we are not going to be bringing back big textile mills again, but we do have beautiful outdoor resources. It's beautiful here. So it's amazing because my husband was very much involved when the AOAA started. And I remember being on the first Jeep Jamboree that they had here, which sold out in literally minutes. There were people from completely out of the area. They're like, is this all coal? Like, they were just mesmerized with how beautiful everything was. And it was so great to see the area through somebody else's eyes. I clearly remember as a child coming to Shamokin on Independence Street to get like our fancy Easter dresses, or this is where you would go for the upscale shopping. So I personally witnessed the downfall of Shamokin from loss of industry, and quite frankly, what happens with that is depression and people feeling very downtrodden. I wanted to be involved in seeing it come back up. So once again, right before COVID, it was as good as it gets around here. People with the funding were here. We had attention by not just state legislators, but federal legislators pouring money into the city of Shamokin. Very exciting time to be around. COVID hits. everything shut down. Even SEDA-COG, we were working out of our homes. Our offices were shut down. And it was very difficult for me because I could not turn to just virtual meetings for the people that I was working with. So I met with them in person. And if they wore a mask, I wore a mask. If they didn't wear a mask, I didn't wear a mask. So I took their lead and I did not get COVID. We tried SABRE meetings virtually. They were difficult because a lot of people, they weren't used to using their phones for that purpose. But we tried. But really, to keep the momentum going during COVID was very difficult. But we also lost leadership. So, and I could not step in to be the leader of all these different groups, obviously. I knew I was here for a short amount of time, so that really made things difficult. Congressman Musser loved the Go Shamokin plan. And he said, I want to fund something from this. What do you have in this Go Shamokin plan that is shovel ready? I said, well, could you possibly fund downtown makeover? Could you do the planning and implementation with one grant? And he said, yeah, I think we could do that. So he said, how much do you need? I said, I don't know. How about like 2.675 million. When we actually got the funds, I was off probably triple the money. So that's why we did get the 2.675 million. So grateful for that, Congressman Musser and your staff. So what we're doing with that fund is we are actually planning the whole stretch from Market all the way to Shamokin Street. And we are not forgetting about 6th Street. There's also a portion there that we'll be working on also. But for this funds, we're working from Market to Shamokin Street, phasing it out. And then also we're working on the first phase. This is all implementation that's happening right now behind the scenes. One of the projects that took a weird turn, actually in our favor, in the city's favor, was back right around the whole COVID thing happening. Mayor John Brown, who was the mayor at the time, he contacted me and said, hey, we heard that the city of Shamokin is getting a new FEMA FIRM map, which is a flood insurance rate map. And so I said, let me find out about this. So SEDA-COG has a program that's for flood mitigation and resiliency. And I checked with the program manager at the time and I said, asked if they could look into it, which they did. And yes, the city was going to get it quadruple the amount of flood that they used to have. This is catastrophic for a community. And the issue is that the city technically had missed the appeal period, but they couldn't have done much anyways because an appeal with FEMA is not a phone call or a letter saying, well, we've never flooded there before in the past. And FEMA to say, oh, never mind, you're good. What you have to do for an appeal is you actually have to bring in engineers and prove that it's not what FEMA suspects. And they're not the bad guys here. They just don't have the funding to put people on the ground to measure. So they do something called LIDAR. Well, they fly planes over, and they also look at global warming trends, what's going to happen in the future to guesstimate. So what we had to advocate for the city of Shamokin was to get an H&H study, or a hydraulic and hydrology study. And that is a fancy word for the study of water, the movement of water. So we reached out to DCED and asked if we could get funding. That's $130,000 of funding, to which we had to prove to them how important this is for a community to combat something like this. So we were successful with getting the funding. Now, once again, this is all back in 2019. 2020 is when we started the process of getting the H&H study, which proved in the city's favor, which is a good thing, because that was a risk. DCED could have funded this program, this project for us. We could, and the firm that we brought in was GPI. They came in, they proved that, hey, this is the situation. It's not going to be quadrupled. Then we had to start a new appeal. And so that has all proven successful so far. But to this date, right now, we still don't have the new map. We were supposed to get it by now. But if you look back all the way back at that 2019 original remapping, that was supposed to take effect back in like 2021. So the fact that COVID, they keep attributing it to COVID, but that has given the city quite a bit of extra years of being in that old flood map. So is it going to increase? Yeah, a little bit. And then so the portion that we're working on with that right now is educating the public on what is a remap, what was an H&H, what were the findings. So that's something we're working on right now. But that is definitely just shows years, how much that lapsed because of COVID. SABRE, that's for the business owners. So that is a closed group. So if you just want to get active in the community, that's probably only if you're a business owner. However, there's also FAR, Better Together. So FAR is the Faith Alliance for Revitalization, but FAR, Better Together, they are the backbone of the community. They're our volunteer group. They're doing great work. There's also the Shamokin Community Garden Group. They're doing, and the Shamokin Community Garden and Pocket Park Group. They're doing amazing work and are constantly looking for help. So there is lots of opportunities to help in the city of Shamokin. So Go Shamokin is the movement. That is the Facebook page. That is the strategic plan. And that strategic plan is how I've gone after the different grants. I'm not just out there looking for this or that. Have I done projects that weren't on there? Yes, as pet projects to help with the Shamokin pool, to get Step Into Swim, to give free swimming lessons. Very exciting. To help Oasis Recovery, to get funding through the Pennsylvania Department of Drug and Alcohol Prevention, to get funding so they can keep doing their good work. So where SEDA-COG fits in, we are not necessarily the ones that are going to be working with the volunteer groups. I'm not on the ground anymore. I used to have an office in the city of Shamokin. Justin Bainbridge, the downtown manager, he's there now. So my purpose is to work on the large grant sources and then to help implement those grants. And I work with City Hall to make sure that they're implemented properly. So if you are in the city of Shamokin and you're thinking, how do I get involved? Come to a council meeting. They're always open. I don't love where they're at. They're upstairs at City Hall, and yes, we do have to make it more ADA compliant. You can get involved with your local politics. Find out who your council people are. They're people doing really good work in the city of Shamokin.